Myles Munroe is with me, and we are going to have a glorious day and a glorious week all this week. Listen, every time Pastor Myles Munroe is with me, the phones just ring off the hook, and I love it. We are going to talk again about the kingdom today, but you have a brand new book called God's Big Idea,
Yes.
Reclaiming God's Original Purpose for Your Life. I'm ready to hear you. I really want to know more. God has really gifted you with this.
It's good to be back.
Well, I love it.
And, you know, I'm amazed at the impact of your ministry everywhere I go. We've been traveling a lot the last couple of years. And, you know, it's so important what you're doing. And I think you are probably one of the 21st century's great manifestations of kingdom impact on nations. And I mean that because everywhere I go, people know this ministry, they know the name of this program, and they know you. And whether I'm talking to governments or whether I'm talking to church leaders or business people, they ask, do you know Benny Hinn personally? And I said, of course, you know, and it's so great to be back with you again.
Thank you, Myles.
Thank you so
Bless
much.
your heart. I want to ask, why did you write this book? How did this all develop?
Well, first of all, I think there's nothing on earth more powerful than an idea. As a matter of fact, ideas are more powerful than death. The world,
Ideas are more powerful than that.
Absolutely.
Really?
well, think about it.
Please.
The world is actually run by dead people.
You are so right.
Think about it. People have left their ideas on earth that have become ideologies, that have become philosophies, that have become the way we rule our countries. Matter of fact, it's impossible to kill an idea. You can kill a man, but not his ideas. Okay. And so the world is actually run by people like Plato, Aristotle, Socrates. They were the ones who actually invented the idea of democrata. Democrata is where we get our concept of democracy from.
Sure.
It was developed by the Greeks. And so you could say that the Greeks are ruling America right now. Dead men. Ideas are so powerful that if you try to kill an idea, it actually multiplies. We call it martyrdom. This is why ideas like socialism, communism, democracy, dictatorship, even terrorism is an idea. And you cannot really shoot an idea with a bullet. You cannot kill an idea with a gun.
How true, boy.
And I think if you think of the fact that ideas are more powerful than mankind himself, then if you really want to deal with the idea of terrorism, you cannot shoot it with a gun. So I think the most important thing we got to understand is that ideas control the world.
And that's why you wrote God's Idea?
That's why I wrote this book, God's Big Idea. As a matter of fact, everything that exists, Pastor Benny, is a product of an idea.
Exactly.
The shoe on your feet used to be an idea. The clothing that we wear used to be an idea in someone's mind. The building we are in used to be an idea in an architect's mind. Everything in the world was first an idea. And that is why ideas are so critical, because they are not only the controlling elements on earth, but they are also the source of creation of everything. And this is probably why we are having some challenges in the world today, because we have not taken a serious look at ideas. You know, the first place that I really recognize where ideas are important in the Bible is the first chapter of John.
That says, of course.
In the beginning was the Word.
The Word, yeah.
And the Word was with God, and the Word was God, etc. And then it says, all things were made by the Word.
Yeah.
And then it says, and the Word became flesh. Now, you and I know, theologically speaking, that word is the word logos. But when I discovered what the meaning of logos was, it blew my mind. The word logos in the Greek, which we translate the word from, is the word idea. Matter of fact, the word logos means expression of an idea. So the Hebrew concept of idea in that verse is, in the beginning was God's expressed idea. And God was his own idea. And God created everything by the idea. And then it says the idea of God became flesh and dwelt among us. So if you want to know what God's ideas are, you got to study Jesus. Exactly. He was God's ideas in a body.
I love it.
So idea is what God sent to solve the problem on earth. Now, the word idea, we translate it as word. Why? Because an idea is what's in your mind. Think about it. Now, the only way for me to know what your ideas are in your mind is when you convert them to words. When you speak, a word is an idea container.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
God expresses idea with word. That's why Christ is called the Word of God. He is God's collective ideas in one human body. And so if you want to know
wait, say that again. Slow down. This is great. He is God's collective idea in one human body.
Absolutely.
Isn't this precious?
So if you want to know what God is thinking.
You know, you bless me every time you talk. I tell you, I love this. Keep talking to me. This is great.
And if you want to know what God is thinking, then all you have to do is study Jesus. Jesus said, the words I speak to you, they are spirit. They are life. He said, no man can come to the Father except he comes through me. Jesus Christ is God's big idea in a body.
And really what he's saying is, Jesus is God's will in action.
Absolutely. Your will is in your mind.
Yeah.
But when you put it on paper, it's called a testament. You know, it's amazing. Lawyers know this. If you die with a will in your mind, then no one knows what you intended.
Exactly.
This is why a lawyer comes to you and says,
put it in writing.
Say what you want to happen. Say means take your intentions and turn them into words. And when we put it on a paper, it's called a legal pad. Because now I've taken what was your intent and made it a legal document. The Bible is called a testament because a testament is someone's will on paper. Jesus Christ is God's will in a body.
Wow.
And your will is your ideas. What do you think about? Now, here's what's important. If you try to destroy an idea, it multiplies. That's why Christ says, if you guys try to kill me, I'm only one kernel of corn. You don't want to touch this. Because if you bury this corn, he says it's going to bring back thousands and thousands, millions. You know, this is where martyrdom comes from. So if we really want to solve terrorism problem, for example, we think that destroying a person will solve terrorism. But I discovered something. God's conclusion was that the world needed a new idea.
Exactly.
Think for a minute.
Exactly.
So he didn't send an army. He didn't send warriors. He didn't send soldiers. He sent the word. Because the most powerful thing on earth is an expressed idea.
So what you're saying is God fought an idea with his idea.
Oh, you're getting ahead of me.
I love it.
Exactly. You see, the solution to the world's problems, which are all ideological problems,
how true.
is a counter idea.
How true.
That's why God sent the word to solve the world's problem. If God sent an idea to solve the world's problem, then it means that the world's problem is ideas. And so all of our ideas are corrupt. Romans chapter 12. We don't understand Paul's mind sometimes. Paul says, look, the only way we can see a new world, he says, is first of all, you must stop being conformed
to this world,
to the ideology of this world.
That's exactly.
Then he says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may know what is God's perfect will.
You know, you're explaining even something's happening today. We hear on the news, we are fighting an ideology.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, because we're not fighting an army.
Right.
We're not fighting terror.
Yes.
We're fighting an ideology.
That
is very dangerous. And only God's idea can defeat that.
You're getting ahead of me.
That's why the book. I'm going to slow down then and let you talk. But you see, this is the key to victory.
Yes.
Keep talking, please.
You know, the most powerful thing on earth is a thought. And a thought is an idea that's conceived. And the most dangerous thing is when a thought becomes a word, because now it becomes an influential power. That's why Christ says, be careful what you listen to.
Yes, exactly.
Because you are transmitting people's ideas into your mind.
Yep.
And this is why God sent the word to change the world, to save the world, to redeem the world. And Jesus said that I am life. The words I speak to you, they are spirit, and they give the effect of your life. And so we got to study what was Jesus containing. What was his idea that he contained? And I am pleased to announce that his idea is an old idea. As a matter of fact, the idea of God is as old as time and as fresh as tomorrow.